What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Lions video, and welcome back to the final draft night trade scenario video. You guys have been loving these videos. You guys have been killing it with the likes, with the views, and with the support on these videos. And as the draft is fastly approaching, as the draft is just in a couple of days, I wanted to get at least one more of these videos out to you guys before draft night actually arrives. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about a team that in recent days, in recent weeks, has been rumored to be looking and making some calls about potentially moving back into the top 10 selections, of course, with that being the Philadelphia Eagles. So now in today's video, with that being the case, with that rumor coming out and with the Lions, of course, holding a top 10 pick today, we are going to be talking about the potential trade between the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles, as the Eagles look to move up back into the top 10 and the Lions look to move back and acquire some more capital. Now, before we get into the video and before we get into talking about this potential draft night scenario, if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, please consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. It takes just 2 seconds out of your day to do so. It's quick, free, and easy, and you would be helping the channel out more than you could possibly know. So if you could do that, take those 2 seconds to like and subscribe, and maybe if you do enjoy the content, you could even become a member for special perks. Link in description. But with that being the case, and with all that being said, let's get into this potential draft night trade between the Philadelphia Eagles and our Detroit Lions. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles are a team that held the 6th overall pick a few weeks ago. They then traded it to a Miami team who was sitting at 12. They wanted to move back into the top 10 in their own right. The Eagles decided to trade those picks. They moved down to the 12th overall selection. However, now in recent days and in recent weeks, there's been news, there's been rumors that the Eagles could potentially look to move back up into the top 10. Now, whatever the Eagles are doing, I have no idea. I mean, they're moving around, they're doing a lot of strange things, but I think that it's pretty okay to say, and I think this is pretty fair to say, sorry Eagles fans, but I think the Eagles are actually in a worse situation right now than the Detroit Lions, and I think they are in more of a need of a top 10 pick than what the Lions are currently at. Their QB position, I think, is a question mark. I think Jalen Hurts is okay. I don't think he's even quite as good as Jared Goff at this point. He has shown a lot of flashes. You know, Jalen Hurts has shown a lot of flash, has shown a lot of ability, but in the games where he didn't play well, in the games where, like, in his good games, he was great, but in his bad games, he looked really, really bad and looked like the NFL had already figured him out in just a couple of contests. So with that being the case, with the quarterback being a big question mark, you know, that is something the Eagles could maybe potentially be looking to address. You know, they have literally no wide receivers at all. Like, Jalen Reagor is there, but he had 30 receptions a year ago for like a couple hundred yards. Like, they have no wide receivers. And you think the Lions wide receiving core is bad? Go look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They have, in my opinion, the worst wide receiver core in the NFL, and it's not even particularly close. They have a lot of aging and injured offensive linemen. They had an offensive lineman last year that tore his ACL early. They have a lot of older guys on that offensive line and a lot of guys that have been signed away even this offseason. So really, with a top 10 pick, the Eagles could address multiple different situations, and the Eagles are really in a position, in my opinion, to just take the best player available, whether it be a wide receiver, whether it be a offensive tackle, whether it be a quarterback. I think the Eagles are really in a true rebuild. I think they are going to rebuild. I think it's going to be a couple years at the minimum before they are actually good and competitive again. So with that being the case, they could look to move back up into the top 10. They do have the capital, holding picks 12, 37, 70, 84, 123, 150, 189, 224, 225, 238, as well as the 240th pick. Now in 2022, they held 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and their picks between rounds 4 and 7. Now their other second-round pick, their second-round pick that they got from Indianapolis, could actually become a first-round pick, I believe, if Carson Wentz plays in 70% of the offensive snaps for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, they could potentially have 3 first-round picks. Their future isn't incredibly bleak. It's not like, oh, they're so far away and they have no capital to build a. Like, they are far away. They don't have a ton of pieces right now that are going to help them be successful, but they do have a lot of picks in this year's draft. They do have a lot of high picks next year. So they do have the capital to move up in this scenario. They do have the capital to move up, and they actually have some capital for the future to get this team on the right path. However, in this draft night scenario, in the scenario that we're going to be going over today, we are going to assume that with the first 6 picks, Lawrence is 1, Wilson is 2, Fields is 3, Lance is 4, Sewell is 5, and Jalen Waddle is 6. Now that leaves the Eagles looking to move up from 12 to 7. It leaves them trying to move up a few spots in the NFL draft to get back into the top 10 to likely take, probably in this scenario, Ja'Marr Chase. Now the Eagles actually traded this pick away earlier in the offseason. The Eagles actually made a trade with Miami to move from the 6th overall pick down to 12. Now in this trade, the Philadelphia Eagles gave up the 6th overall pick as well as the 156th overall pick for pick number 12, pick 123, as well as a 2022 first round pick. So in this scenario, in this draft trade scenario, I see a very similar thing happen, as it's only 1 pick difference. You're only moving down 1 pick from 6 to 7, but you're trading down to the same spot. So in this scenario, I think the Lions trade just the 7th overall pick, and in return get the 12th overall pick, just like the Eagles. They get the 189th pick, which is a little bit worse than what the Eagles received for the 6th overall pick, as well as one of their 2022 first round picks. I think this is very similar value, a very similar trade to what happened a few weeks ago between the Eagles and the Dolphins, and I think this is really realistic. I think this is something that is very realistic that is going to happen, or if this trade scenario were to happen, I think this is the value the Lions would expect from the 12th overall selection. In this scenario, in this mock draft night scenario, the Eagles do move up for Ja'Marr Chase, right? If Ja'Marr Chase falls, the Eagles have so many needs at wide receiver. They have been looking for a wide receiver for so long. They passed on they passed on Justin Jefferson, they passed on DK Metcalf, they passed on guys in the past. Like, they have missed on wide receiver a lot over the last couple of seasons. So I think the Eagles are going to be desperate. I think they're going to be hungry, and they're really going to look to get that big time wide receiver. They're going to take one more swing for the fences. They're going to trade up, give up a lot of capital to go get the best wide receiver in the class. They're going to move up. They're going to go get Ja'Marr Chase, and they are going to get their true dominant wide receiver 1. Now in this scenario, of course, the Lions would be falling back to the 12th overall pick, where you're in prime selection, in my opinion, to either take Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah to fill out your linebacking core, you take Tevin Jenkins to fill out your offensive line, or you take Christian Barmore to really add another dominant presence to a already seemingly really good looking defensive line. You know, at pick 189, I think you could look to take Derek Forrest. We talked about him yesterday. You could look to take Garrett Wallow, the linebacker out of TCU, the tackle for Lost Monsters and the tackle machine, or you could even look to take a wide receiver with a guy like Daz Newsome from North Carolina. Either way, I think there's some good talent at both selections, and the Lions would be left with a lot of draft capital. You know, they would have 3 first-round picks in the 2022 NFL class, one of which, whether it be their pick or the Philadelphia Eagles picks, one of which would likely be within the top 10 yet again. I don't see the Eagles being really competitive next year. I see the Lions being relatively competitive, 7 to 9 wins, and then I see the Rams being really good next year, probably divisional round or later. So that would give the Lions 3 first-round picks, 1 early in the draft, 1 middle of the draft, 1 late in the draft, would give them access to pretty much every prospect that they could ever want in the first round next year. I think it could set them up for a ton of future success if this trade were to go through, and you would actually be getting quite a bit of capital for just moving down a couple spots to pick number 12. Now, with that being the case, that is my trade scenario. That is the trade scenario that I mocked up for this scenario. As I said, it has been rumored, it has been mentioned that the Eagles could be looking to trade back up into the top 10, and likely, if they are doing so, to get the top weapon, to get a big time wide receiver and try one more time to swing for the fences and get that big time, big name wide receiver that they whiffed on twice in a row. But with that being the case, that is all I have for you guys today. Those are kind of my 5 mock scenarios, right? Those are kind of my scenarios, my draft night trade scenarios that I see are realistic for the Detroit Lions. You have the Washington football team, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think are all realistic teams that may look to trade up to the 7th overall selection. All for different things, all for different needs, but all of whom would get at least 2 first-round picks and probably a mid-round pick either this year or next year. Now, with that being the case, with all that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this potential trade scenario. Let me know what you guys would think if this trade scenario were to happen on draft night, and who would you draft with the 12th overall pick if you were the Lions. Let me know that down in the comments below. I'd be very interested to hear what you guys have to say. But with that being the case, and with all that being said, that is all I had for you guys today. Thank you all so very much for watching the video. If there's Lions news or rumors to come out in the next couple of days, of course, I'll make another another video talking about it. But until then, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you all so very much for watching. And until next time, and as always, go Lions.